Yes, you asked that question, and we've agreed that let's resource all of the other questions relating to the matters that we've discussed, and then we'll come back to that.
Yes, we have
Have we
resolved
reached
that.
that point
Yes,
now?
yes, President, everyone is
No,
happy.
thank you. I think that, as you know, on the 9th of November, we submitted the candidature of Patrice Motsepe, and this is a letter from CAF to confirm that, and I will just read. Oh, you can read it there. Oh, you can't read it there. This is from CAF, to whom it may concern, subject confirmation of receipt of documents. I, the undersigned, Abdullah Main Ba, in my capacity as Acting General Secretary of the Confederation of African Football, confirm having received on this day, 9th November 2020, documents pertaining to the nomination of Mr. Patrice Motsepe, current owner of Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club. Mr. Patrice Motsepe has submitted his candidacy for the position of the President of the Confederation of Africa, Cairo, 9th November 2020, Confederation Africaine de Football. He signed, and this is a letter of confirmation that there was compliance. Secondly, this is the date stamp of the Egyptian Post Office, so there is compliance. So, as far as we are concerned, we complied and is a candidate. The second issue then is that all candidates must go through eligibility checks. In the case of the president of CAF, there are two sets of compliance. One is done by the CAF Governance Committee, and because the CAF president is automatically a vice president of FIFA, the CAF president, together with all the other members who are contesting positions for the FIFA Council, must go to FIFA for vetting. I think we expect a final decision from that process either towards the middle or the end of next week, and that will then finalize that process. And then we go to Morocco on the 12th of March, where the decision will then be taken. You know that, in my view, Patrice Motsepe has worked very hard. He's been to Egypt twice. He's been to East Africa. He's been to Qatar, where there were many African presidents. There was a CAF. The first visit, of course, was the Champions League of the CAF Champions League in Cairo. He was there meeting many of the leading officials on the African continent. The second visit to Cairo was during the period of the CAF executive meeting, and he had a lunch with the CAF executive members who were all there, met with them, engaged with them, and then, of course, he went to West Africa, to Nigeria, to Ghana, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and then went back to Cameroon. And of course, in COSAFA, he met virtually every president in our region, except, of course, some of the countries have closed their international borders, and of course, he couldn't go to those countries. But immediately after the Chan tournament, I think he's now looking at going into East Africa, and then he's virtually then covered the entire African continent. So I think he's done very well. We now just have to wait for the FIFA review committee to give us the finalists. As far as CAF is concerned, they submitted all the candidates to FIFA, inclusive of his name. So we now just have to wait for the governance committee and the review committee of FIFA to finalize its work. But in my view, things have gone very well. I've seen it also now when we were in Cameroon. People are excited about his candidacy.
Thank you, President. Can we take the final question from Mhlekazi?
Just as a follow-up to this matter, President, so the issue of the CAF governance additional checks that they said they were scheduled for the 28th, is it still on the table, or it's only the FIFA checks that are there now? And do you think as you get closer to the election day, the dirty tricks will continue?
I think if you say, well, the dirty tricks continue, it means that the dirty tricks have started. I think we must just wait. These are procedural and necessary processes, and let them complete the process. And if they need more time, let them have more time. Let them do a thorough job. And I think by next week, we should get FIFA giving us the final lesson. I think that will be the end of the process.
The last question was supposed to be the last question, President, but newsroom says they want to have the last say.
Oh, newsroom wants to have a question.
Thank you. Good day, President Dr. Ngwenya, CEO Benjamin from Newsroom. Firstly, COSAFA has agreed on matters before and voted completely differently when it comes to the actual voting. How confident, I know we touched briefly on it the other day, but how confident are you that President Felton Kamambo, President Andrew Kamanga, and the likes will go with the South African bid? And also totally unrelated, also you were busy with tributes earlier. Can you just give the association's word on the passing of Minister Mthembu yesterday?
At any other last?
The last question was that, can you give some words of condolences to the passing on of Minister Mthembu?
Oh.
Jackson Mthembu.
Yeah. No, extremely confident. And it so happens that the two persons that you mentioned, the President of Zambia, Andrew Kamanga, and the President of Zimbabwe, Felton Kamambo, who happens to be in the country at the moment as we speak. Both their teams are there in Chan, in Cameroon, and Patrice Motsepe had engagement with them, and we feel pretty confident. I don't know why you picked those two, but because you picked those two, let me deal with those two. Very confident. We were together in Yaoundé, and I'm going back because I'm the president of the organizing committee of Chan in Cameroon. And this is the first global event, international event, since COVID. CAF is the first continental federations organizing a competition, so it's very, very important. That's why the president of FIFA, Infantino, was there. He came and he said he's looking very closely. And given all the challenges from where the teams come from in terms of COVID, we have to work extremely hard to make sure that everything goes well, so that we can establish a framework for global football to see if we can manage it in Cameroon without incidents. Then maybe there is a template that they could follow. So he was there, and we are extremely confident. Of course, our neighbors, Botswana, Swaziland, Lesotho, these are our neighbors and friends. I think significant support from COSAFA. Of course, the downside, because of COVID, COSAFA cannot have a meeting And COVID is particularly severe in our area and in our country, and therefore I spoke to the president of COSAFA, Mr. Chiangwa, and he is saying he's still looking towards the middle of February and make an assessment how things are going, so that maybe we could have a meeting, or if not, then we'll have a Zoom meeting. But we are satisfied that things are okay in COSAFA.